Hello, welcome to Finishing Touch. My name is Riley James. This is obviously the State Soccer Network. Today we're repping, I know there's 4 stars now, but we are repping the 4-time world champion U.S. women's national team as we interview yet another woman here on the State Soccer Network. We said in a previous show we had struggled getting female guests, and now they're just coming all at once. We booked 5 in the last 24 hours, and I can't be more excited to welcome on a midfielder slash defender for the Roadrunners of the University of Texas at San Antonio, Helene Farris. Helene, thanks so much for making time for the show, and how are you?
I'm excellent. I couldn't be better. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic as well. I'm very happy you made time for the show. It's a little bit earlier than we scheduled, but I finished up the previous show a little bit early. So I wanted to clear up the rest of your day, clear up the rest of my day, and I'm happy we could accommodate about 30 minutes early. But thank you so much for making time.
Of course, and thank you for your time. I am honored, and like I said, I've looked at your YouTube channel. I've looked at some of the videos that you've done, and I'm impressed. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's nice to know that I'm actually good at my job sometimes. Um, doing
I
this,
say
it
so.
sometimes you don't feel like you're always great at your job. So to hear it, it's really nice.
No, of course.
Um, you have quite the loaded past of soccer. You have quite the loaded present of soccer. So I would love to dig into it a little bit. Obviously, you played youth soccer, you played high school soccer, you played kind of these club teams. Can you talk about your experience growing up in youth and kind of how you got started in the sport?
Right. So I kind of started playing soccer around the age of 8 or 9. And at that time, fun is the most important thing. And I played for the YMCA for a while. And then after that, or like NASO and stuff like that. And after that, I went and played for Lone Star, which is a club here in San Antonio. It's called SA City now. So I played for them for a while, and then I kind of needed something a little bit more challenging. So around the age of 13, I would say, I transferred and went to Classics Elite, which is another club here in San Antonio, and really loved it. Was there up until my senior year of high school, and then I went and played for a little semi-pro team here in San Antonio called the San Antonio Athenians, and I still play for them. It's kind of a summer league, like semi-pro summer league, and it's super fun. Love that. I also did ODP when I was in like middle school, and I mean a lot of younger players are familiar with that. It's a great little program held all nationally. So yeah, that's kind of my path. That's kind of how I started out, and then now I'm at UTSA. Love it there. I just finished my freshman fall season. It was a little bit different for me this year because I redshirted. I graduated high school early, actually a year early. So I came in and redshirted, and it was definitely different for me. Kind of taking a look back and just sitting on the bench and watching, and it was a great learning experience. So no regrets about that decision at all. But so I'm here at UTSA now, and then I'll play for the Athenians over the summer as well.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be an owner of a social media network? We have a very unique opportunity where we build you a turnkey social media website that is specific to a theme or niche that you are passionate about. Upon signing up, you'll become a part of our Social Titan community, which is made up of social network owners just like you. You can then share ideas and strategies on how to grow your user base and get more traffic to your website. But how will you make money? Once you have the traffic on your website, all you have to do is sell advertising to companies in your niche. Just 3 months ago, we launched a social network for soccer, and now that same website has over 60,000 visitors each month. That soccer website is also generating monthly income on advertising from soccer-based businesses. It's really that simple. Join our Facebook group today to learn how you can become a social titan.
Right, UTSA obviously put on the map by the athletic year that you guys had. I see you wearing the Roadrunner shirt. Go Roadrunners! One of my favorite new schools that I've learned about in the last year. I knew they existed, but just the year that they had all across all sports, and obviously the football was the biggest one. I'm really excited to see what the athletics program do going
Oh,
forward.
yeah.
But you obviously redshirted. You sat out a little bit. Can you talk about your recruitment process to UTSA? Because I know you're from San Antonio. You wanted to stay home. Did you have any other options as far as like that you were seriously pursuing, or was it always UTSA?
So I committed to UTSA my freshman year of high school. And my recruitment process with them, obviously, I'm super convenient since I live here in San Antonio. Derek Pittman's the head coach now, and he recruited me, and as well as Cameron Carter, and right now it's Brock Duckworth. He's our assistant. Um, but my recruitment process with them was great. A lot of it was through ID camps. That was primarily, I would say, yeah, primarily how I was recruited, as well as like showcases and different games and stuff like that. But like I said, it was super, super nice because they're here in San Antonio as well as I. And, yes, I did have other options. I was seriously considering St. Edward's for a while. And I talked to the University of Arkansas as well as the Air Force Academy for a while. But ultimately, UTSA just really, really spoke to me. The culture was amazing, and Derek does a great job of, making you feel loved, making you feel welcome, and even still here while I'm at UTSA, I feel the same way. It's just a family aspect, and the culture is just amazing. The girls are great. We all feel like one big family.
In UTSA, obviously, like you said, it's convenient. You live in San Antonio, and like we just talked about, the year that they had in athletics, it's going to be a big year going forward. You talked about showcases during the recruitment process. Now, that's a big deal for a lot of our demographic, 13 to 17-year-old kids who want to play high school and want to play college soccer. How do you mentally prepare knowing that you're going into a showcase not only for the good of the team and for you to play well and for your team to play well, but knowing that there's a next level and there's a next step that you're going to have to impress people in that particular moment. So how do you kind of reconcile those two things and mentally prepare for people watching you play and deciding your future?
I mean, I think honestly for me, the biggest thing for me was just playing my game, keeping my composure like mentally and not getting too overworked. You're gonna see these coaches multiple times. You're gonna see them at so many games. They're gonna come to a lot of games, and you should be sending them film. You should be sending them videos. And even going to the ID camps, which are usually like 2 to 3 day things. So, I mean, even if you have a bad day, that gives you another day to pick it up, and same thing with showcases. You're playing multiple games at those events. So even if you have a bad touch at one point, don't stress it. Like, those coaches know that you're human. And even at practices here, like, they know we're human, and they know you are too when you're playing those games. So I think just keeping your composure, and I mean, obviously you want to do well, but I think, you prepare for that years in advance, like it's not like one day you woke up and decided to play college soccer. Like, you've been preparing for this moment. So I think a lot of those high level players, and I mean, anyone really, should be prepared for that moment.
Yeah, now we just got to get the people on Twitter to recognize that other people are human beings as well.
I know people are ruthless, but
Yeah, no, because the people that like sit in front of cameras and the people that play sports on the field don't have feelings. And we don't read these things. No, it's one of the other things I want to kind of go into. Obviously, the treatment of athletes has been a hot topic. And going back to 2021's NCAA tournament for basketball, there was a huge kind of disparity between how men and women were treated. Now, you've been an NCAA athlete you just finished your redshirt freshman year. Can you talk about, do you have any experience or seen anything as far as the treatment of female athletes in the NCAA?
You know, I am a very confident woman, and I am an advocate for all female athletes, and even just females in general. And my view on that kind of things is zero tolerance. So if I would have seen anything like that, I definitely would have brought it up a long time ago. But as far as UTSA goes, I mean, obviously soccer doesn't bring in as much money as some of the other sports. I mean, football brings in millions of dollars, soccer not as much. But I think that UTSA truly does value all of their players exactly the same. Whether you're a football player, baseball player, track athlete, volleyball player, soccer player, whatever, they really value you the same and treat you the same. Um, so no, I haven't experienced anything firsthand. Not in the NCAA, no.
Just another reason to root for the Roadrunners.
Exactly.
The balance that you have to have. Obviously, we talked about your club team and you're playing college soccer for UTSA. You have to balance those things out. You play all year round. So how do you stay healthy? How do you balance just your fitness and your conditioning and just staying ready for whatever season or game you have coming up, whether it's with the club team or UTSA? How do you just keep it all together and keep yourself going?
Right. So the nice thing about playing for the Athenians is their season is in the summer, which starts usually like late April, beginning of May. So usually by the time that's starting up, college soccer's usually already over or ending. So it's super easy to just jump right into that and already be conditioned. But I mean, as far as like balancing fitness, even during the UTSA season, like right now, we got back from Florida like 2 months ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and we did super well, like history for UTSA soccer. And so our coach, Derek Pittman, gave us a nice long break until we start back up for spring in January. And I feel like during this break, like, of course, like, for me, it's different because a lot of the girls that were playing, they need like a week or two or a month to really get that break. But for me, I feel like since I didn't play, I got to keep up my fitness and I got to keep working, especially since I'm going to be playing in the spring. So it's super nice because the Athenians have offered like some private training or group training. So I've been doing that, and that's super nice for me to be able to, hold myself accountable and play with the team while I'm waiting to play for UTSA again.
And it's such a big deal to stay in it and stay fit, but also a break is super nice. And
Right. For sure.
rest is such a vital part of playing sports. And there's one thing I was curious about with you being obviously a top high school player to go play Division One. I talked about this with Avery Howard, who was previously on the show. You're going from being the best player on a high school team to you're redshirting. You're not playing at all.
Right.
The effect of that, and how do you kind of balance that in your mind? How do you accept that role of like, okay, I got to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
How'd that make you feel, and how do you accept that?
It's definitely it's humbling because I did grow up as a top high school player, top club player, and even a top player with the Athenians. But coming into UTSA, you have top players from everywhere. It's not just another club team. It's not just a high school team. It's college soccer. It's every team you play against is competitive. Every team you play against wants to win. And it's definitely humbling because, you get in there and you're not the best player. You're not the equivalent to, it's not equivalent to high school soccer at all, or even equivalent to club soccer. It's completely different. The game is so much faster. And on top of that, having to balance school, having to balance relationships, all of the above. I mean, this semester was truly an adjustment for me. And I think even, graduating high school early, it was a good decision. Definitely, I don't regret it at all. But just adjusting was really difficult for me this semester, especially, like I said, the schoolwork of it all and just everything. So a lot of those seniors, they have it down. They have their time management skills down. But, coming in as freshmen and even some of the sophomores, still trying to manage that time and still trying to kind of find a spot where you fit in.
Brief interruption. We are looking for advertisers for the State Soccer Network website and the app. You can advertise to over 2,000 daily users on statesoccernetwork.com and the SSN app. Plans start at $30 a month, but mention our show in the email and you will get 1 month of that free.
contact statesoccernetwork@gmail.com for more information. And back to the show.
Yeah, and I thank you for bringing that up. I didn't put that in my notes. I didn't send that to you. Something I want to talk about. But obviously, that's a huge part of playing college soccer. A lot of the time, we lose the fact that, like, oh yeah, he's a college football player. Oh yeah, she's a college soccer player. Or yeah, they're a college athlete. They're like a student athlete.
Yeah.
Like, they're still a student. Like, they have to go to school sometimes. And
Right.
that's a wild concept for a lot of people to kind of grasp. We see you guys on TV, ESPN Plus and all these different things. You still have to go to class. Like, that's such a big part of what
Yeah.
you do. And it seems like you're kind of figuring it out. To kind of help that learning curve, can you give advice of what you would have done differently at the beginning in August versus what you know now at the end of your first semester?
I think, like I was saying, it's just time management skills. And another great reason why I chose UTSA is their academic programs are just phenomenal. I mean, the advisors that we have help us out so much. We're required to go to study hall, and those advisors truly help us out. If we need a tutor, they're going to get us that tutor, and all that's included with our tuition, with us playing there, and as student athletes, we really do get treated a lot differently than just regular students because we have access to so many more resources. But yeah, I mean, time management, I would say, is the most important, and just making sure you're going to class, making sure you're putting in every assignment and submitting every essay. Like, that's truly the easiest way to keep track of everything.
As far as on the pitch, you go from playing high school and club to soccer and club, and you mentioned that college soccer is a step above what you do with San Antonio. Can you talk about what you immediately had to get better at to be able to compete on that level and stay ready for college soccer? Some of the things, like, immediately, as far as a technical standpoint, that you had to get better at, like the day one you stepped on campus.
Right. Day one, it's whenever we started scrimmaging and stuff, it's definitely the speed of play. The speed of play is so much quicker, You don't have that time to take a few touches, look around. Like, no, that doesn't work in college soccer. There's people everywhere that want the ball. Like I said, every team wants to win. Every person on that field wants to make a name for themselves, and you don't have time. You got to play, you got to move, you got to keep running. And I would say another aspect is probably, the fitness component, because, you can be club fit, you can be high school fit, but just because the players in college soccer are so much different and so much faster, you really have to adjust your fitness level and your speed.
A couple more things and we'll let you get out of here. Thank you again so much for the time.
Oh yeah, take your time.
You're opening up a lot of doors for questions, and which is really great. And maybe it's the fact I went to journalism school and like that we're trained for this, but like you're in college. I was just in college. I just graduated, so I know how difficult it is to have a lot on my plate at once.
Right.
You are playing and also going to school. Have you figured out a major yet? What are you going to school for?
So right now I'm majoring in biology. Not quite sure what I want to do with that yet. Maybe some sort of health career after. But yeah, right now I'm majoring in biology. That's going well. But I've thought about switching to psychology or something like that just because I think it's interesting. But yeah, right now that's what I'm majoring in.
And what is the goal for you past UTSA?
This is a tough one because, I don't know. The thing is, like, obviously, playing professional soccer, that's a dream. But there's so many people playing soccer. There's so many women playing soccer, and really, you have to like make a difference. You have to prove that you're not just another soccer player. You have to be something different. And I think, like, I'm so young. I'm still a freshman, and I think even playing with the Athenians, like, it's so great that I have these connections with, a semi-pro team. That's amazing. I love playing for them. Of course, I want to get my degree. Not sure exactly, like I said, what I want to do with it after, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like it'll speak to me. I feel like I'll know when I know. But for right now, I'm happy where I am in college and even playing over the summer with that team.
Yeah, I
So I
don't
guess
mean to
we'll
ask
see what
like
happens.
I don't mean to ask like super like invasive questions like what do you want to do?
Yeah,
Um
no, I understand, but these are things I think about because I like to think about the future. I like to think about what I'm setting myself up for, and I think right now I'm where I should be.
yeah, no, and like you don't have to have it figured out when you're a freshman.
Right.
I certainly didn't. And I'm not that much older than you, and I think I'm not that much older than you. The time I was, a freshman in college, it was just like, okay, this and this and this, and now I'm 2 years later. I'm like, I'm good. I'm solid. We're golden.
Right.
So it will come to you pretty quick, and just I think you'll be fine. You graduated college or graduated high school early, so I feel like you're
Hopefully,
you're you're
hopefully
smart
it'll be
enough
fine.
to figure it out. Um, two more things. What is a roadrunner?
A Roadrunner?
Yeah,
You don't know what that is?
I would love for an in-depth description of someone who goes to school with that as your mascot.
Maybe it's like a South Texas thing. I don't know. It's basically like, well, here's a picture of one. I mean, I
Okay,
don't know.
it's very menacing.
Basically, they're actually not that menacing. They're super fast. They're like these little like birds. I think they're birds, and they like run. I don't know. They're super tiny, but they're fast. They're super fast. And I mean, I've seen a ton like at parks and stuff. So maybe it's just like a Texas thing. I don't know.
Because I mean, I'm from South Louisiana. I'm like 5 hours from San Antonio. I guess we don't have them here.
I mean,
I don't know.
they're super brown. Like I'm sure if you saw one, like you would know what it was. But yeah, it's like a little bird. That's why we do like birds up. That's like our slogan.
You got that Roadrunner statue on campus?
We do, we
Like,
do.
is that? Yeah, that looks interesting.
And that's like
I
exactly
just
what a Roadrunner looks like, but it's just super tiny. Can you hear me?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I know. You cut out for a second, but that's technical difficulties. If you want to keep that in, that's live. This is broadcasting. This is how it goes. No, but like roadrunners are such an interesting animal, and to have that as a mascot, it's definitely unique, and I really like it. And the logo is awesome because it's menacing, but it's also not menacing from what you're telling me. But nevertheless, we'll get back to
They're
soccer.
super nice. I mean, I think they're pretty cute, like pretty sweet.
I don't know. I've never seen one in the wild or in the parks of San Antonio. But back to the soccer. Yeah, send me a video, please. Please send me a video of a roadrunner in the wild, aka a park. Nevertheless,
one last interruption before we finish the show. Finishing Touch is now looking for sponsors. We have 3 ad spots, as you saw today, and 100,000 views to the first 8 episodes of this show. It's only going to get bigger. We thank you so much for the hot start that we've had, and we want to advertise your company in one of those 3 spots. Contact statesoccernetwork@gmail.com for more information, and please enjoy the end of the show.
Last soccer question. We'll let you get out of here. Thank you again. This was, the main point of the show is if you could give advice to the main demographic of our show of how to get better, how to be the best player that they can be on their level, whether it's high school, whether it's club, whether they want to play college, or maybe with the same aspirations of you of playing professional soccer, what general piece of advice would you give to someone who just wants to be the best version of themselves on the field?
Right. So I think for me, you're growing up, you're playing in club soccer, you're playing high school soccer, even middle school soccer maybe. I think the most important thing is just to have fun while you can. Have fun until you can, because when you get to my age, it's strictly business. You're still having fun while you do it, but everything's a business decision. You're going to school, whether you're getting your school paid for or not. And that's the great thing about playing soccer is you have so many windows to make money off yourself or go to school, get your college paid for. And when you're my age, the most important thing is, I would say, focusing on school. School is the most important thing. You're not going to have soccer forever. Maybe you play up until college and you don't play after. What you get your degree in, that's what you're going to do for the rest of your life. So I think focusing on that when you get to my age. But, when you're 13, 14, 15 years old, just have fun, and if you're interested in playing college soccer, make sure you're emailing those coaches. Make sure you're calling those coaches. Make sure you're sending those coaches videos. Make sure you're sending those coaches your schedules, because ultimately that's what helped me the most, was just reaching out to coaches, reaching out to as many coaches who are going to be at, the showcase. Say you're going to an event and there's 50 colleges there. Do your research on the colleges, know kind of what you're interested in. Maybe you like this school better than this school. Okay, email all those schools, or email 40 of those schools. Who knows who is gonna come to your game, but it's just making those connections, and it's just making those relationships. So ultimately, I would say the biggest things are just work hard. Don't take too many days off, and then just focus on you. Try to be happy in whatever you do, and when you get to my age, just focus on school.
Well, I appreciate the insight. I appreciate you trying to explain to me what a particular bird is. I appreciate just the overall time that you gave to us. Thank you so much.
Of course.
I hope you have a fantastic year next year, and hope you get to play all the games that you want to get as much playing time as you can handle. And thank you again so much for the time. This was awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you so much for watching the show. We really do appreciate it here at the State Soccer Network. We also have some socials for you to check out: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at State Soccer Network. And at the State Soccer Network, we also have a website, statesoccernetwork.com, as you can see right there. It's available in the show description with a direct link to find out how to sign up your local high school soccer team and contests and events to win prizes. We also have an iOS app available in the App Store. Thank you so much for watching the things that we make. It really does mean a lot. And remember, the State Soccer Network, a place where you can become the next great American talent.